the Plasterer.
Always helps if you turn your camera on. Good evening. Happy New Year. Oh dear. Welcome to
The Plasterer.
with me, Eric the Plasterer. I've been a plasterer in South London for the last 38 years, which is too many. And here to answer any of your plastering related questions, and also to have a chat with me regular friends that come along on a Monday night. Every other Monday normally. Goes a bit squiffy over Christmas and New Year, but I think hopefully we're back on we're back on course. So hello everybody. I know you've all had a lovely Christmas and all stuff and things like that. Right, settling up. You got yourselves a drink, putting your feet up. You can phone in. There'll be a number up on the screen in a little while. You can speak to me directly, or you can type in and your messages will come up here on the screen. And yeah, let's have a chat. If we're busy or we get busy, we'll stay on till about 8:30. And if it's really quiet, I might just go and have my dinner early. But we shall see. Without any further ado, let's move on to the boozer. Ah, lovely.
Off the Plasterer.
Oh. How are we all? I've got the Coca-Cola beer. Cheers, lovely. Oh. Evening everyone, hope you had a good Christmas series. I did, Mark. Hello Mark, hello Tara. Hey, how can it says here I've received 100 messages today with Restream chat. We've only just come on and that can't be right. But hey ho. Right, where was I? Oh yeah, I've got me whiskey again for Christmas. I've got some for my birthday. I've still got a fair bit of it left, so I should be drinking some of that single malt this evening and enjoying that, and just having a chat with you lot and see how we get on this evening. As I said, I'm Eric the Plasterer. If you're new to this channel, this is Ask the Plasterer, and you can ask me any plastering related questions. I've been a plasterer forever, and yeah, and the other regular guys and girls that come along, you can ask them questions and just all have a chat together while I settle down. I'll tell you about my Christmas, you can tell me about your Christmas, you can tell me about whether you're busy, whether you're quiet, and yeah, and how you're all set and ready for a happy new year, and for 2023 to be, God willing, a better one than the last couple have been. No Rona please, no other wars than the ones we're kicking off already. Hey ho. Right. Bear with, and also a bit later on we'll be showing you Pete Carter, his latest invention to hit the shops, and have a little chat about that and give us your views on what you think. I think it's quite brilliant myself. But yeah, you can give us your opinions a little bit later on. Let me know, guys and girls, if the music is okay, it's not too loud, too quiet, that you can hear me. I'm pretty sure I've got my microphone on, otherwise you would have told me by now if I hadn't, wouldn't you? Everyone hear me loud and clear? Don't know. Okay. as I said, if you want to, you can ring in on the. Well, if I put the phone on, you can ring into the show. Right, that's coming on now. Don't ring straight away. Ah dear. Right, there we wait. Put this up so I can see your chat a bit better on there as well. Cheers, Richard. Happy New Year to you as well, mate. Mike, Colby, hey, Happy New Year, mate. Mark, Happy New Year. Martin, yeah, hello, mate. Happy New Year to everybody. Right, Christmas. I had a nice Christmas this year. As quite a few of you know, because I think it was on the last show, my missus and my daughter got corona, not in that order. And I had some really nasty old cold, but every time I tested I was negative, so that wasn't the Rona. But after about 3 weeks I got better. I didn't get the Rona. The missus and my daughter got better. Then we were meant to be having Christmas dinner at my daughter's house, and that was lovely because it was the first proper year of being at the house since they moved in, because they moved in just before Christmas last time. And it made a nice change, and it was relaxing. And okay, my daughters are veggies, but we took over the roast potatoes and the stuffing and the turkey and the ham. Brilliant marches. But yeah, but other than that, my daughter did the rest. So, but they did some fantastic hosting. But yeah, we cooked quite a large percentage of the food and tried to keep it hot and take it over and then whack it up on a hot plate, so that it remained hot. I think it was hotter than when we normally have it at home. So that worked out quite well. But yeah, and it was lovely. And stopped over for the evening, which was nice. And yeah, because back in the day, I had a big family because I've got 4 sisters, and they were a lot older than me, and they had kids, 8 cousins and nieces and stuff. And my mum and dad, as the matriarch and patriarch of the old family, we'd all used to go there for Christmas, and it'd be 20, sometimes 30 people for Christmas dinner. And generally people, I say people, it's mostly family, would stay, cousins as well, nieces, nephews, would stop over for 2 or 3 days. And for me as a kid, as I remember, it was absolutely fantastic. Evening, Martin, if I haven't said evening already. Yeah, and it was what memories are made of at Christmas time. And so, but as you get older and your families get bigger, if you have kids and stuff, things start to change. And when your parents either get too old to do it or they eventually pass away or whatever, and then you start going, your kids, you have Christmas at your house, it's your kids and whatever, and blah 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 and all stuff like that. Anyway, I'm waffling now. I'm waffling. Right, guys, are you currently busy? I know, like Mark and stuff, you're back on the old sand and cement. James, Eric, Scotland's still on the cards this year. Yes, mate. What would the dates be, just so I can get myself organised? The dates are, well, I'm going from the 10th of May this year. We're meeting in Edinburgh. We're going to stay for a few days. Some guys are going to stay a week, depending. Some guys live near there. Some guys have got family or friends up there. And but I'm going to. So I was going to go up on the sleeper. I probably still am. But recently, Marcus, parent there, that's Marcus, contacted me and said that currently you can book a flight from Stansted for about 40 quid, which is a lot cheaper than getting a train. So I'm sorely tempted, but in some instances, even after paying to park your car there and paying that, it probably can still work out cheaper. So that seems a fantastic deal. So if any of you are thinking of flying up for the for our meet-up, then I'll take a look at that. I don't know how many flights they have, or whether they'll stay at that price. But that's what came up. If you booked it now for May, May the 11th, I think Marcus had that down for, and that was coming in, say, at about 40 quid. So it is still very much on. I said I put a timer countdown on it, which I haven't, but it's from the 10th of May. Yeah, it's quite. There's at least, I think, 20 people that are down as definitely going now, including myself. And yeah, we are going to have a great time. We're all going to meet up and meet each other in the flesh. The guys don't know each other like on a one-to-one already, and yeah, we'll have a cracking time. I mean, everyone's basically sorting out their own travel arrangements and their accommodation for when they get there. Don't leave it too long. May is a pretty good time because later on in the year you've got the festival and you've got the fringe, and you've got the military tattoo, Edinburgh tattoo, is it? And all that kind of stuff. But we're going like not too near those, so that shouldn't be an issue. Getting up there at a reasonable price and getting somewhere to stay. If we can all stay somewhere near the central part of Edinburgh. I mean, Edinburgh's not too massive anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. But if we can all be fairly near each other and near the nearest nice hostelry, somewhere similar to Yale Hookman Trail, then yeah, it should be a great crack. So it's from the 10th. Yeah, check your travel out, mate, and if you can book it early, then you're probably best to, because things normally, back in the day, if you booked something last minute, it used to be cheap. And if you booked it well in advance, it was expensive. And now it seems to be the other way around. If you book it well in advance, yeah, it's cheaper. And if you book it last minute, it's kind of like, oh, if you want one now, it's going to cost you twice as much at least. I don't know how that works, but hey, there you go. Jamie, any other Saturday suits me from now? Alright, mate. Thanks, Mark Neeson. 121 days. There you go. That's going to fly by. Life flies by really quick. So 121 days. It's going to go by in no time at all. I mean, we're already steaming into January, and what's February, March, April, May? Yeah, no time at all. Whiz up close. The closer it gets, so keep an eye on it, and don't let it be too far away from your thoughts if you haven't pre-booked something already. Get up there, because it could be so easy to forget. Well, I say that, I'll keep reminding you. And when it gets nearer the date, there'll be more posts on Trail Talk on here and on my forum as well. So yeah, it's all good. I'm looking forward to it. Very much so, very much so. Now, speaking with some of the guys and girls, a lot of people are still very busy. Some people are quite busy, some people are a little bit quiet, and some people are very quiet. So on the work front at the minute, it's really, I mean, this time of year, the beginning of January can be fairly quiet anyway, unless you've already booked stuff last year for this year. But yeah, it can be really variable. I've been like cracking on some years in January, and other years, you know, you might I've had to like mark it off as a not a dead month, but just a month where it's not going crazy. But there you go. James, work's been very busy this month. How's this year looking, Eric? I assume you just work in London. Yeah, I just tend to stay in and around London. Yeah, I only go. The furthest I've worked away from here is probably going down the coast, like something like Brighton, something like that. That's probably as far afield as I would go, or in that kind of circle, work-wise. But if it is, and when it is busy, anywhere near home, the nearer the better. Then I tend to book that kind of work in and leave the any distance jobs. Though I would love to do a bit of time with Mark and the lads on that rendering, and then rendering them houses there in Ireland. They always look like they're having a lot of fun. No Colby as well. He's coming on. I'll super spread. Hey. Everyone else keeping fairly busy? It's Danny's not here at the minute, is he? Plasterer Danny. I don't know, he'd been they went away for Christmas abroad, Portugal I think it was, somewhere nice and warm. From all accounts he had a lovely time. But yeah, nice. And now he's back here and he's cracking on with I think some big job he was hoping to get on with a bit sooner, but the weather was a bit dodgy just before Christmas. And not great straight after either, I don't think. But most people, yeah, now, yeah, back to the fun, the frivolity of plastering for a living. James, I noticed the plaster was rising price again, over £10 in which, yeah, £10 cheap now, mate, for a bag of multi. With I looked up a builder's merchants today to price up a job, and there with the VAT, with the VAT, it was coming in at 12 quid a bag. So yeah, it's got a bit silly, but what do you do? You've got to pay for it. That has obviously got to be passed on to the customer. I said before, like, it wasn't that long ago, it was about £5 a bag. But there ain't never going back there, is it? Not a chance of that. Mike, I slowed down to 4 days instead of 6 this month. Oh, well done, mate. I do worry about you, Mike, sometimes. I'll just kind of get a bit worried you're not getting enough sleep or having enough fun. Well, that's the thing, Mark. Yeah, because you're outside in a minute, and you only had a bit of blue sky the other day when it was raining here. And a couple of times that it's absolutely bucketed down here. We've had like mini floods out the back and out the front. Okay, if I fixed my gutter in, it would help. Oh dear. No, but yeah, you see some big old puddles out in the road, and the old garden path, and it looks like a little river instead of a path. You know, it's raining heavy, and I just kind of think, yeah, I know. And this time of year as well, it's quite mild at the minute in London anyway. But I wouldn't fancy the outdoor rendering if we have any more cold snaps, because it could still be quite cold. Because I'm kind of thinking now, oh, that cold snap's gone, we're past Christmas, and although the days are slowly getting longer, from in the morning getting lighter, a teensy bit earlier every day. Yeah, I wouldn't kid myself that the weather's going to stay this mild. It could still go well below zero, even between now and February, or even after, I think, in March. But here's hoping it doesn't. There's got to be some pluses to global warming for the time being. Cheers. If you've just joined us and you've not been here before, I'm Eric the Plasterer. This is Ask the Well, you wouldn't think so, would you? But this is Ask the Plasterer. We can ask many plastering related questions. Much of the regular guys know all there is to know. Because they've asked me every question under the sun and learnt from their own experiences. So they're here as well to answer any of your questions. If you want to ask anyone in particular a question about something, feel free. This is the community boozer. Any potential customers that might be watching, other than when I'm doing this and I have your drink, because I got some drink for Christmas, I'm not really a drinker. So I would not be drinking beer in your house, or whiskey, come to that. Don't mind the odd cup of tea. James, I've got a new toolbox Alex Morley recommended. Oh, he did a while back, didn't he? Yeah. recommended it on his YouTube. Everything fits really well. I've also chucked away all my buckets and replaced them all as the handles don't last very long. No, they don't, mate. No, they always tend to split in the end, which is fine as long as they don't split if you're talking like the big buckets when you're carrying a load of gear. Also, I've noticed a lot of guys if they're doing ceilings and they mix up in a bucket, they use one of those dollies, you know, with some wheels on. Put maybe a hop up on there and put their bucket on that. And I suppose the fact you could wheel it around is quite good. But I still use my board and stand, and I put, when I'm off on my stilts to do ceilings, and I put my big old tough tub on top of my board and stand, mix it up there, and whack my stilts on. And okay, you have to walk to the bucket. But if it was just a normal spot board, you put it on the spot boards. You're not going to be rolling that around, so you still got to walk to the spot board. So, yeah, so that's how I get my spot board up to that to a decent height when I'm doing a ceiling on my stilts. For anyone that's wondering how you reach your gear in a bucket when you're plastering up on stilts. But that new toolbox, there's something else he did as well that he recommended a little while ago. Other than carbon trowels. Carbon trowels definitely seem to be really coming back into fashion. Because I think sometimes you just can't beat the proper old tools. I mean, when stainless, I had a carbon trowel obviously when I started out, and when it turned over to stainless steel trowel to buy it, I thought, oh, lovely stainless steel trowel, and you go out and the price of them was like, wow, that's expensive. It is stainless steel. And initially, yeah, you really sort of enjoy having a stainless steel one. Then initially you're a bit disappointed by the fact that they still kind of mark on the back or get stained by the actual plaster film. But when you get over that, and then you also realise, oh, they're a lot harder to wear down. So from that viewpoint, I suppose it's good to have the old carbon coming back in. Johnny, evening. Evening, Eric. Wishing you and the family Happy New Year. Thanks, mate. Yours and you too. Work for me, mate. I can't lie. It's been quieter than I've been in a long time, and I don't like it, and neither does my wife. So yeah. And unfortunately, that old mortgage man, he still wants me to pay every month. In fact, don't forget, guys. End of this month, if you haven't done it already, make sure you got your tax returns in, and. And paid whatever your bill is. One thing I will recommend, if you're in an arm and a leg and you're VAT registered and all the rest of it, use an accountant. If you've got guys working for you, you've got quite a big business, and obviously use an accountant. If you're a one-man band and you're not VAT registered, do your own bookwork or learn how to do it. It's really simple, and you save yourself quite a few quid. And doing the books yourself. The technical part is not as technical. If there's VAT involved, then it is. But if it's just straightforward sole trader, you wouldn't believe how simple it is. Well, for my wife, and I'm rubbish at maths. But how simple it is to do. So, just a little tip there for anyone that's forgetting that you've got to have your tax sorted out by the January 31st, and don't forget to pay the bill that day as well. What if I ain't got any money? I hear you ask. Yeah, that's happened to me a lot in the past. Yeah, nerve-wracking times, but I'm still here. And as much as my wife would like me to get a proper job, it's been too long. It's been too long. Mind you, it's so quiet at the minute. You might see me delivering your Ocado or Sainsbury's food delivery if you live in London. If things don't pick up a little bit better than they are at the minute. Or get it done. Well, normally, I mean, Mark, I've done my with the help of my lovely wife. I've done my return a couple of days ago. If I'm perfectly honest, for the last, I can't remember how many years before that, I normally do it at about 8 in the evening and later on the 31st of January, trying to do it before midnight so as not to get a fine. And that does make it more stressful, especially if you and your wife are doing it together and thinking, oh, I really should have done this sooner than on the day. But so many self-employed people in the trades, they do leave it to the last minute, which is why there can be a bit of a glut trying to get on the website to put your return in if you wait till the 31st of Jan. One year did it a day before, I think it was the 30th of January, might have even been the 29th, and I thought, hey, like well ahead of the game, and I got the result through, how much I owed, paid it straight away, so I thought lovely. And then was it a couple of months later, I got a fine through from the taxman for not submitting my tax return, which was a bit puzzling. And so I went back into my tax online stuff, and it was all done, but I hadn't pressed the submit button. So if you do doing your stuff yourself like that, remember to press your submit button for it to go to HMRC. Otherwise, even if you pay the tax that they told you to pay because you've just given them your bookwork, it doesn't register on their computer because you didn't press the submit button. So that was my mistake, but hey, there you go. So, yeah, be careful out there. Johnny, I think you should do us all a little video on that, Eric. Oh mate, no. What, of my wife swearing at her husband? No. Where's that book account? Which period is it from? From when till when? What month? What year is it? Oh, I knew I should have written it down last year, but I didn't. Or I did, but then I've forgotten where I've written it down. Well, I'm pretty sure it's on a folder on the computer marked Eric's Tax Affairs or Eric's Bookwork. And then I click on Eric's Bookwork. There's nothing in there, or what is in there isn't what I'm looking for. And I'm thinking, I'm sure I put it in there, the details of which year I'd filled out the year before. And me and my missus have, yeah, the air goes quite blue. Doing the tax return. I feel sorry for my daughter. But yeah, I definitely won't be making a video about it. But you can, for anyone that's interested, you can go online because HMRC are happy for you to do that. And you can look up on how to do it and what you've got to do and what you've got to fill in where, and it is fairly straightforward. So it's worth a look, even if you decide not to do it yourself. Tony, evening mate, nice to see ya. Mark, usually do mine before Christmas, so I always get a rebate. Because I pay 20% every week. And you got isn't 20% emergency, mate? And I thought if you had a card that you didn't have to, that you it wasn't that much. And whatever the card was called when I used to work on sites and I had a card, CS something it was called. It's been that long I can't remember. And if you had that, then the tax deduction was quite low. If you didn't have it, then they took 20% plus off. But I thought if you had a card to be able to work on site, CIS for that, yeah, that's probably it. that meant you didn't get 20% taken off every week. But I don't know how that operates with your government, mate, or whether in Ireland it's a bit different. Or, but then I suppose if you get a rebate, it don't really matter. It's better than having to pay a bill. And as you say, yeah, if you're paying the 20%. But no, I just thought you automatically didn't do that if you had the card, the CIS card, yeah. I mean, now if I wanted to get any work back on site, I would have to, I'd have to go through on whatever courses you need to go on to get the qualification, wouldn't I? Which is a bit sad. I don't know if I've mentioned on one of these before. I did Channel 4 contacted me, this is going back a few years, about doing a some program they were going to do about I can't remember what it was exactly. It was some kind of building program, and they wanted plasterers and whatever else. And I went, whoa, yeah, right, I'm up for that. Get on the telly, plastering. And I sent it all in. It's oh yeah, great, fantastic. And then they came back to me and said, have you got a city in guilds in plastering? I said, I haven't got a city in guilds in plastering, mate. No. And they went, no, we can't do. You can't do it then. So that was a bit gutting. I said at the time I think I'd been plastering still for about 20 years. And they went, oh yeah, but if you haven't got your city in guilds, so but hey ho, there you go. That's his life. Oh dear. So I should probably be sticking to domestics when I'm not not delivering for Tesco's. Or cab driving. No, I wouldn't go back to cab driving. I did that in a few of the recessions, and it's not a lot of fun. Pete, hello mate. Where's the best place to bury a body? Asking for a friend. I love that, mate. Cheers. As you're up here now, Pete, while you're on, mate, here we go. This is, I want to show you guys this if you haven't seen it already. Here we go. This is Pete's latest offering. As you see, it's a cold chisel, fits into that handle. Not only that, look at that, there's a torch in there as well. And the whole idea of this is that you can, one, it stops you whacking your hand, which I've done a lot of times in the past, and also the light in it's a brilliant idea. And it just, like most fantastic ideas, it's so simple, but it looks absolutely amazing. And Pete's going to send me a test model so I can try it out, and actually that would be a nice review for me to put on video, wouldn't it? So I will I will do a review of it, Pete, and yeah, pop it up on the old channel. Nice soft spot. Easy. Begin. But there, look at that. I mean, if there were no such thing as the old electric chisels, then this would make Pete his million, absolutely for sure. As I say, the amount of times I've whacked my knuckles with a club hammer, and like Pete also said, you can get a steeper angle on a wall using that, and I think it's great. I can't wait to try it out. So, Pete Carter, Global Industries. Don't think that's what it's called. But he's your man. If it's not bead fix, if it's not the old sorry, I've forgotten the name of them already. Bead master, yeah, socket beads and light beads and stuff like this, and then yeah, Pete's your man. Not just a skilled tradesman, but a fantastic inventor as well. And he puts his money where his mouth is, because getting these things into production is not cheap. So well done, Pete. Yeah, and if you'd like one, you can let me know or let Pete know, and yeah, I'm sure we can sort them out. It does work on a cordless ads when. Hang on, sorry, Joe, don't know about... Sorry, yeah, Jamie, don't know, but the best thing to use is an icicle. Pete, it does work on a cordless ads when hacking off. Evening, Stu, nice to see you, mate. Oh, an SDS, right, okay. But yeah, no, I reckon that's fantastic, mate. Fantastic. So I can't wait to try it out. I'll do a little video, stick it on my channel, There's nothing else on there. So, oh, you were sitting there mentioning B-Fix. B-Fix, B-Fix, fantastic B-Fix tape. I'll have to stick a little advert box up on here with that as well, won't I? Only trouble is, Tony, you might have to send me a bit, mate, so I can try it out. Yeah, spell check is an absolute pain, mate. It's the bane of my life. Yeah, B-Fix, B-Fix, B-Fix. Right, hang on. Let's pop that away for now. Oh, don't forget your extra time as well. And don't forget Trout Talk. Oh yes, there is nowhere quite like Trout Talk Plasterers Help Group, a proper help group. Yes, help group that helps other plasterers, that helps newbie plasterers, that helps men, women, everybody, anybody. You got a serious plastering question or a not serious one? That might sound a bit silly, but it's not. You can ask on Trout Talk and you'll get a sensible response. And if anyone gives you a not sensible response, they probably won't be on the site for very long. Tony Smith, heard you use glue on your beads, Eric. Oh, I do, mate. Only because I used to. Well, not being a proper plasterer, as I used to be anyway. I used to either, when it came to thin coat beads, I would normally put the skim on the wall I'm doing, skim it right around the window, and then I would push the beads on. I would tap them into the plaster and level them up and make sure they're good, and then just be a bit careful of them. Obviously you've got to be careful you don't start knocking them when the plaster's wet, which isn't ideal. If it was plasterboarded, then yeah, I'd whack a few screws in to hold them into place, and then I'd skim them. But then you get a bit of obviously you can't use screws and stuff when you're doing the old going over old solid plaster when you're doing a reskim. So then it was a case of, again, either bedding them into some plaster or yeah, that was all I used to do really for fixing beads. I know a lot of guys now use the staples, but the staples they kind of bend over and they don't like go in, do they? Fixing it with a B-Fix tape, I would imagine. Well, I'm pretty sure when you if you send me a few, it's good for taping them up. I think I used the glue before I even saw anything about B-Fix tape, and I was tempted to use it, but I thought, well, it is a bit smelly, the old spray and stuff, but you get used to that really quick. And then another plasterer, he did a video of him using it, and I thought, you know what, I will give it a try, and yeah, I haven't looked back since really. I think it's because the drying of it is so instant and it doesn't move. Of course, if you stick it wrong, then it's a bit of an issue. But yeah, the short answer is yeah, I do use glue, mitre glue, and accelerator spray. Stuart, oh sorry mate, just looking at a photo of us, bloody hell, thought I was that pissed I didn't see Mark and Jamie at the pub at that night. I'm sure you was all sober in them pictures, mate. Yeah, I'm just bringing in the clan here slowly. I think before we end up actually meeting up for real in Edinburgh, yay, in May, 10th of May onwards, yay. But slowly, I'm gonna build you guys across the back of the bar here. So we've got. But I can't get everybody from Trout Talk in the bar, but it would be nice to get all the regulars into the community boozer. Why not, just for fun. I will, Tony, thanks mate, cheers, appreciate it. Jamie, sorry Stu, we had been there a while, must have missed you coming in. Yeah. Well, what's a community booze if it's just me in it with this mug, which you see too much of anyway. on this particular show. Yeah. At the pub. Ooh. Ah. For anyone that's not been here before, I'm Eric the Plasterer. This is Eric the Plasterer. No, it's not. This is Ask the Plasterer. I've been a plasterer in South London for the last 38 years. And you got any plastering related questions, whether you're a customer, whether you're a time-served tradesman, whether you are a newbie, a DIYer, you're welcome along to here to ask any questions. Pete, George Lloyd, he has a thing called the Bail Group, which is for ex-cons. I might be getting involved with it in North London. Well, let us know, Pete, if you do that, mate. Give us details, give me details, give Stu details. So it's something we can discuss or learn more about. That'll be good. That'll be good. Mark Neeson. We swerved you and Marcus too. You two were blasted. Hey. Cheers. Happy New Year. Excuse me. Yeah, that's a few fireworks. Why not? Yeah. 2023. I haven't missed anyone's questions. James, do you store any spare materials from jobs? You never enough storage space, always sort in the van when I can. I have I got, well, at the minute I can't get in my garage again. I used to buy quite a lot of stuff in bulk from the guys up north that come down in vans and deliver gear pretty cheap on account, and then pay that at the end of the month. But plaster and stuff, I did used to stock up a few bags of finish, bonding, browning, when browning was still a thing, in my garage. Through the summer that's not a bad idea. In the winter it's not so great because most garages, unless you've got something with heating in it, can get a bit damp. And I mean, if you're getting through the plaster quick enough, then it is nicer to have a little store of stuff. So when you've got a job come up, you can pop into your garage, go, right, okay, beads, PVA, so many bags of bonding, so many bags of finish, whack them in your motor, ready for the morning. Lovely. As opposed to what I tend to do a lot more now is the job comes up, see what gear I need, and I go and pick that gear up either the night before, well, normally the night before, after finishing the previous job. So you know, you got it all loaded up and ready to go. Oh, and yeah, I still buy beads in bulk. The old rolls of the old pink tape, which Mark reminds me of what it's called. I always forget what it's called. The fibre tape. Pete, do you want an apprentice? What? Who are you asking, Pete? I was going to say something else, but I can't remember what it was. Which is nothing new for me, is it? Dear. I'm only up the road in Southend. I suppose you are probably the closest to me compared to a lot of the guys, Pete. I thought I might come. Can I come and help you invent things, mate? and get them distributed. I mean, do you have those, the latest stuff? Is that kind of a local affair, or is it a sort of send off to China job, or? Oh, Martin, updates on Louis. I did see on one of Alex's, I think it was his last video or the one before, someone asked him on there in the comments whether there was any updates on Louis, and he said sadly it's not really, because it's really slow affair, his recovery, which obviously doesn't sound great, so keep the geezer in mind, send him up a few prayers, because this is obviously a long-winded affair for poor old Louis. But yeah, I think only Alex can update us on that one really, but yeah, that was quite recent, and sadly not the improvement I would well, I've been hoping that things would have been a bit better by now, but he's obviously having a really tough time of it, so yeah, so that's the only update I could give you at the minute. Made the same place as my beads. I don't know where your beads are made, Pete. James managed to keep on top of the rubbish with 2 trips to the tip over Christmas. Oh, that's sensible, mate. Have a van, so I use the missus' car. Always complain if I don't clean it afterwards. Oh, mate. Yeah, you can't go in the van, can you? Yeah, no. If I do take rubbish in the car, I get yeah, I have to be really careful. The missus don't like me getting any kind of plaster or anything in the motor, so I have not ruined a few motors. Talking about motors, a little old Ford Fiesta. My daughter got in that today. I wasn't in. I had to go out really early this morning with the missus, and she was just to get back to drive off as a job as a teacher at school, and the car started and it stopped, and then she said it wouldn't start again, and I tried it when I got home, and it's not making a good noise. It sounds, to my untrained ear, like it's got no compression in the engine, which normally means the gasket's gone. Because when you start it, as it turns over, it doesn't go, it goes more like that, or a sound to that effect, which isn't great. But and I don't know if it's worth fixing or not, but we shall see. I'll let you know. It's been so reliable as well. It's just passed another MOT. Donkey's years old. Fantastic car. Ford Fiesta. Mark 3. Yeah, I think it was a Mark 3. And so that's come as a bit of a shock. I was thinking of selling our other motor and just keeping that, but now that don't look like it's going to happen. S6 injection moulding, less than a mile away. Oh, that's handy, Pete. Very handy. Because I suppose with a lot of production things, people do the old China malarkey because it's, well, because they can offer sometimes stuff a lot cheaper, but the rigmarole of having to deal with China and waiting for gear to come from there has got to be a bit of a nightmare. But that sounds brilliant, mate. S6. Talking about S6, we had a proper gym rowing machine, which we recently sold. The guy came from Essex to pick that up, which is more than I would have done. Yeah, I've only just before Christmas just got rid of the skip that I had on the front for well, I get rid of a lot of stuff that I need to get rid of when I was clearing out the garage, but generally all the work rubbish then goes in that from jobs, and that saves having to worry about the tip. But it does mean until Christmas I must have had that skip on the drive for a few months. So I mean, it's a big one, not a little one, but you can do without a skip outside the front of your house for however long. The old tips used to be great. You'd go on the old Way Bridge and you'd go into the, well, my one anyway, you'd go into this massive loading bay place and there are these huge pits, and you just back your truck up to them and you would just dump everything out the back of your motor into it. It was all mixed up, plaster, paper, wood, blocks, bricks, didn't matter. Yeah, I suppose it wasn't sensible in the recycling department that when they started, oh no, you can't chuck that plaster in there, mate, if it's got a paper bag around it still. And empty it out of the paper bag, put the paper bag here, and I got used to it. But and then they went, oh no, you can't come in here anymore. We don't take trade waste no more. We've decided it don't look good on our recycling record, and it's been a pain ever since. Danny, hey, happy New Year! Yeah, you are late, mate. What have you been doing? What have you been? Don't tell me you haven't just got in from work, surely. I did mentioned earlier about you'd been away for Christmas. I think it was Portugal, mate, wasn't it? Tell us about it. It looked like you had fun, mate. That you enjoyed it. Initially, I didn't know you were going to actually stay there over Christmas. I thought it was up to Christmas, but you were actually there for Christmas as well, weren't you? Welcome home, Danny, and of course you're back on the old tools, mate, aren't you? Got that big job started, finally. If you're joining us from Facebook, welcome. This is Arthur Plasterer, the Plasterer. Here to answer any of your plastering related questions if you've got any. Other than that, we just come here for a community chat. A lot of the plasterers, regulars, DIYers, men, women. I'm pleased to say there are a lot of women in the plastering fraternity, not compared to men, but on Trout Talk alone, I think there's at least 10 women on there, which, okay, out of 5,000 spreads is not a lot, but it's nice to see, and I hope that number grows. And all the great women builders out there as well, and Sparkies, some great women Sparkies that I've seen a lot of socials on, and Beth Electrical, I think, was one of them, and yeah, just nice to see. So, yeah, if you are watching from Facebook, I think most of our viewers watch from YouTube, but it's nice to have you popping in and having a quick nosy at what on earth I'm waffling on about on Facebook. That doesn't tend to be as popular on Facebook as it is on YouTube. At least my streaming software is free, so that's okay. Oh, that's lovely. Are you still there, Danny? Tell us about your holiday, mate. It's no good popping in saying sorry I'm late, happy new year. Going again. How's your no smoking getting on? Hang on, he says, let me put down my fag and I'll tell you all about it. Oh dear. Hey, has anyone tried rolling? I was going to say rolling a fag then. Rolling ceilings with mesh. works really well and builds out evenly and doesn't fall on your head. So what are you talking, Pete? Putting the coat up there and then putting the mesh on with a roller instead of using using a trowel. I haven't meshed the ceiling yet. That's something I think I'll be looking forward to for sure. I have enough trouble getting mesh on the wall. Danny, hey, been at me mum's for dinner. Again, ain't I? Yeah, it was lovely, mate. Can't believe how hot it was. 24 to 26, beautiful. Some days was only expecting around 17 or so. Really good weather. Yeah, mate, going to be flat out on the trowel. Well, hang on, make me old thingies pop down the screen. Enjoying it. Flat on the trowel now. About time that the 13-inch carbon got some action. Yes, mate, get cracking. But after all, well, in our time apart too. I mean, it wasn't rusty when you got back. Did you leave it in oil and stuff, mate? Oh, one patch. Not one patch of rust on her. Well, you must have looked after her or wrapped her up well. Pete, on that mesh thing, build it out, then trowel the mesh in. It's so easy to do. Well, you're putting the finish up with a roller. You've lost me now, Pete. You're putting the finish up with the roller, and then you use it on the ceiling, and then you're using the trowel to push the mesh up. Is that right? Rongler, evening, mate. I remember 20 years ago, gold trowel DVDs. First using fibres in the first coat of plaster. I wondered if it's worth going back to that system rather than using render mesh or over skimming old walls. DVDs. I mean, you can put, yeah, you can get fibres that you mix in with the plaster, but I don't know. I think it's probably easier to use the mesh. Well, I don't know for sure, but I would think that the mesh is going to be far more secure when it comes to stopping cracking coming through on a dodgy wall, as opposed to that. Sorry, going back to you, Pete. I'll have to read through these later to make sense of it. Peter, fibres work but can pop out when troweling up mesh is easier. That's the point, yeah. Yeah, with fibres, I mean, you have to have one piece of, when you even doing a little bit of scrim tape, if a little bit of that pops down through your plaster, could be a pain. So I suppose if you have got fibres, that could be an issue, which you're not. I suppose you're not really going to get with the whole sheet of the mesh. It's like anything else. I think it's learning the techniques to put your mesh up. It's I compare it to papering a ceiling. I tried to paper a ceiling years ago when I'd never done it before, and I'd never watched how it should be done. Man, that was crazy. And you just can't think, how the hell do you stick a length of wallpaper on a ceiling? When you learn how to fold it properly and you do that whole thing, you hold it up, then you get a brush and you kind of like unfold it and you just kind of brush it along. Amazing. And the more you do that, the easier it gets and the better you get at it. And I think when you're doing mesh, especially mesh on a ceiling, the better you get that knack of how you spread your gear on, and then how you roll your mesh onto the wall, whether you're doing it in sections going up or rolling it across. Yeah, rolling it across ain't a great idea, because I've had an issue with that, doing an outside wall for render before. But yeah, no, I'd probably stick with mesh. Sorry, Gronna, nothing came up then, mate. I don't know if you typed something. Cool. Cool. Yeah, welcome, Grog. Now, are you a like time serve spread or you DIY? No, you're not DIY. You said about 20 years ago, didn't you? I remember 20 years ago. Yeah. Sorry, mate. Nice one. Welcome. Yeah, welcome along. Welcome along. Thanks for your input. Welcome to the community boozer. So, Grog, this is every other Monday from 7 o'clock. We meet up here. So, yeah, nice to get together and have a chat. Have a chat and warm by the fire. I'll talk about anything you like as long as it's something to do with plastering. How are we doing for time this evening? Where are we at? Oh, 8:01. 8:01. All going well. We'll keep cracking on till about past. But we shall see. We shall see. Kenny, hello Kenny. Any Irish spreads on here? Find the skim coat these days horrible to use. Most I know Mark uses. Well, can he seem to get the? Oh man, my memory is so bad. Mark, what's the finish? Just Carlight, isn't it? Just Carlight finish. Are you on the old Trout Talk group, Kenny? You can only get skim coat here and... There you go, Kenny. Yeah, in the north, Mark can only get Carlight. What's? Wait, you see Griffin? He's not, mate. He's not, is he? I think at least too busy, mate. Too busy to come on here. I think he has popped on before. I'm not 100% now because I see him so much on Trout Talk and his videos on his YouTube channel. I think I have seen him, but they think, oh, has he been here? Or I don't know. But yeah, I shall plug it to him, mate. I shall put in his comments. I'll go, oi, come on, mate. All that experience you got. You need to come and have a chat in the pub. I'm sure he's been on here before. I've made him a new tool that he was going to try out. I'm itching to find out if he liked it. Oh yeah, Mark, yeah. What tool was it, mate? I think I might have seen him talking about something that you'd made him recently. Unless I'm getting confused with old Jamie. Mind you, it's not difficult for Jamie to confuse me. I'm pretty sure if you made it, Pete, anyway, he'll like it. James, Eric, do you often see a lot of spreads at your local B&Q? I always come across loads in my local Wicks or getting materials early in the morning. Yes, mate. Yeah, I do see quite a lot of other spreads in there. Don't generally chat to each other because I don't know, unless you know, or you see the same blokes on a regular basis. But yeah, a lot of guys use the B&Q for their stuff. I mean, I'm I'm a 90% B&Q man when I'm picking up gear until they shut my one down, which is meant to be happening sometime this year. This type of spat speed skim, I called it the Slayer blade. Ah, nice one, Pete. I think I did. I've seen that. I've either seen you post a picture of that, or talk to him about it. So I can't remember if he's on the forum or not either. But yeah, early in the morning, James, Wicks and B&Q. It's a plasterer's paradise, mate. Still expensive. And I've got so used to going to B&Q over the years that, yeah, I think it's just a lazy habit. Because I've got some other builders merchants near me, and I've got a couple of accounts, but I tend to never bother going in them. But once my old B&Q shuts down, I probably will, because my Wicks is a bit further away. But I do quite like Wicks as well. Well, on Peter, on his media, so I shall mention his Slayer blade and see if he's got any any feedback, and get him to come to the boozer. Cheers. Excuse me. If you've not been here before, I am Eric the Plasterer. This is Ask the Plasterer. This is the Yeld Hawk and Trow community boozer, where plasterers and DIYers and some customers and a lot of lady plasterers as well come along for a bit of a chat. It's where you can ask any plastering related questions that you like, and I would hope to be able to ask them, answer them, and or any other guys as well. Not least Lee. Oh, I invited Lee to join Discord ages ago. I don't think he joined. I'll have a look, mate. What's the matter with him? I'll have to have a chat. I'll have to have a chat with him. I'll have to have a chat with him. Yes, Selco is still cheaper for plaster, mate, isn't it, Mike? Yeah, I've got an account in there, and that's just not too far for me. It's just a little bit further than B&Q, while B&Q is still open. But as I say, once it shuts down, Selco will probably be my next port of call. You'd be not too really. Actually, near the Selco, there's not for plaster, but there's a tool station. There's a screw fix. They're all in the same little industrial park near where I am, which is quite handy. Mark, with your gear, mate, is that all like supplied and like just put on site, ready for you to just turn up there and get cracking? Your sand and cement and stuff, and your car light. Were you involved in having to get any of that gear there, or is that just all sorted out by someone else? If you are a Satma $9.74 a bag, is that including the VAT, Mike? For that? That's for multi-finish, presumably. If you're one of the people watching this from the YouTube channel or from Facebook, apparently people only stay on for about 10 minutes, which I can understand. But we've had the same amount of people on here now for quite a long time, but there's no way of knowing whether that's new people coming on as people go off, or whether the same people just hanging on in there and enjoying the community spirit in the old organ trail. But thank you for your patronage. With that, no, that is good, mate. Yeah. Oh. We lift our cemental finish every other morning and just put it on the builder's account. Oh, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. James, would you ever do a job with one of your subscribers or anyone? Yes, mate, I would. If they're near enough. I mean, there's been a couple of times when myself and Stu were hoping to do a meet up and possibly a bit of work with Alex Morley, but it didn't come off for one reason or another. On one of those occasions was around near when Louis wasn't all that good, so which was understandable. But yes, mate, I would. Jamie, I'm off duty at the moment, Pete. Carter, is there a god? Let's put this on, Pete. Kenny, a bag of skim here is near €20. Wow, cool, Struth. Is that 25 kilos, Kenny? I suppose it must be. Football score on the telly, mate. Same as usual, we're losing. If it's Euro or if it's World Cup stuff, we're losing. We're nearly winning, and we're not quite winning. Tony, I paid €20 for a bag of skim coat in Ireland about 3 weeks ago. Oh man, that's a lot of money. Kenny, yeah, it's gone to shit. A lot of guys in London and stuff have been saying that, well, not just in London, up and down the country, have been saying that the multi finish hasn't been the same of recent times. I mean, for me personally, I couldn't tell the difference, but perhaps that's just me. Or perhaps in London we get a bit of superior multi finish. But yeah, no, hearing some dodgy stuff all around about the quality of the plaster, but. I mean, the stuff's only dug out of the ground at the end of the day and got additives mixed in it to stop it going off or to make it go off. Tara, I don't know if you've seen, but Dana's been putting up a video every day. Yes, this past week, useful for newbies too. Yeah, I don't know because I've never been on done his free course. I don't know if he's. I think they are new videos. I don't think they're from the free course. But I think he's probably thought, yeah, let's put it out there. Danny Turner, shout out through, Danny. Mark, Carnite is £13 a bag. Wow. Yeah, £13 is bad enough. Is it? You can easily pay about 12 quid here for multi finish. At €20. That's mad. Can't put a shine on it. The only thing you can ever put a proper shine on was Ceropite plaster. Ceropite. Back in the day, you could put a shine on that like varnish. But I don't think they do it anymore. I might be doing quite a big petition wall job in a not too distant future, and on that I will be using 8 by 4 foot boards, fireboards, as opposed to my usual 6x3s. But and it's over sort of Vauxhall Way, so I'll be getting those delivered on a lorry with all the other stuff that's needed. Which is easier than taking it all there yourself. Pete, I was wondering how anyone can price up at the moment because of the price changes. How do you get around that? Do you separate materials so it's transparent to raise the price when they increase? It must be a nightmare on big work. I would think so, mate. I mean, the prices on anything. I mean, timber seems to have kind of leveled out now, and seems to be quite readily available, and I don't think the price is fluctuating on that. But plaster at the minute is very up and down, or up and up, should we say. Actually, yeah, I think this is quite awkward pricing on some jobs. On big jobs, small jobs, okay, it's not a massive amount. You don't really want to put materials as a completely separate entity, because then you'd also have to put onto the fact that you're transporting that, and you're not transporting that, picking it up and transporting it for nothing. We shouldn't be. Anyone pricing up stuff on like big jobs that are finding it awkward because the price is going up? I don't think it's been going up. Well, it's relatively been going up fast, but it seems to have just been slowly keeps creeping up and up and up. Can't quite make it out. Can't be all down to the blooming Russians, can it? And COVID. Right, it's 8:15, guys. We're going to go on till about 8:30. So, get your drinks in. Last order's at the bar for you got 15 minutes to drink up. All right. Does anyone do plumb and dot still? Personally, I've only done it twice in my life. I think I've only done it about twice in my life, Pete, as well. It's too accurate. No one wants anything that level and that straight anymore. Danny, haven't priced anything for a while, to be fair. All day work, yeah, easy money. I can imagine there'll be a lot more these days. So after all that increase, yeah. We'll see where this year goes and what the work situation is like as the year progresses, and how much plaster a bag of finish will be by the end of 2023. But we shall see. We shall see. It's got to calm down a bit price-wise. I don't see any good reason for it to keep going up. And petrol going up or fluctuating or the rest of it, I appreciate that, but gypsum creeping up in price. Don't really know why that is. It'd be nice if someone explained why that was from British Gypsum. Mark, done it twice since the training centre, Pete. When did you do the training centre though, Mark? Was that a recent thing, mate, or was that years ago? Oh, excuse me. Sure, I got up at... What time did I get up this morning? 5:20, which is early for me. I was out of the house by 6ish. I had to get into London before before the congestion charge kicked off. Tara, is there a way you can tell if boards have been up too long that they need PVA before plastering? If they've been out, sometimes, Tara, they're just they get bleached by the, I say bleached, they go yellow just from the light bleaching them. If they've gone slightly yellow, they definitely should be PVA, because they're probably as dry as a bone, and the suction will be a lot worse than it would normally be. So look out for that. Other than that, if they look okay, then they're probably fine. Wait, that's because of gas when they bake the raw. Oh, okay, Pete. Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? They must. Well, I don't know the whole process of how they actually make the plaster, but if it's baked, then that'll be the perfect excuse. The price of gas. I'm very surprised. Oh, I actually went, dragged myself, kicking and screaming to the gym. When was it? Thursday evening. As if I'm a gym person, I'm a gym in the evening person, as opposed to, well, when you're at work you can't do it in the day anyway, can you? Some guys like to go at 5 in the morning. But yeah, went back to the gym for a day and I'm suffering the DOMS, the after effects on your muscles when you haven't exercised for absolutely ages. And I went a park run as well on Saturday and done one of those for about 3 weeks. So yeah, got a general aching all over at the minute. But got to get fit again. I don't like how it's starting to grow a beer belly. It was a 6-pack, then it was a flat no pack, and now it's becoming a bubble pack, which won't do. Danny, and I was on day work all last year, pretty much. Oh, right. And as long as you're giving your money's worth, mate, for the money you're charging. And I'll be honest, I had more money last year than I've ever earned in my 9 years of plastering. So isn't that bad for the day work, to be fair, if it's consistent. Yeah, if you can get consistent day work and you're covering enough that whoever's paying the bill at the end of the day is happy, then that's all that matters, mate. Yeah. Any pricing I do at the moment is only valid for a month due to fluctuations in materials. If work isn't carried out within a month, I'll give an update quote. Fair enough. Yeah, no, saying that, Gronkler, I used to, I mean, when plaster was around a £5 a bag and had been that way for years, you know, if I sent someone the quote in, when I had lots of quotes, I'd say, look, your price is more or less ain't going to change in the next 12 months if you have it done in that time period, which is the way I operated for a while, and that was fine when the price stayed the same. But as you say, I couldn't tell anyone, your price will be about the same within the next 12 months, because it sure won't be, will it? As I say, yeah, see what the price will be by the end of this year. I hope it's not getting even more silly. Don't be shy, people. If you've never spoken to us before or typed a little message in, feel free. James, not much on in the next few weeks, Eric. No, well, I've got some quotes like about to go out now, but no, it's been crazy quiet for me. If I'm honest, I can't remember the last time that my workload has been as quiet, even this time of year. A bit concerning, but we'll have to see how things go. But I'll keep you posted. Danny, it's mostly for my landlord or my mum's bloke who is a builder. Oh, it's not. Well, blimey, it's not. You don't normally get builders paying you what you want, mate. And they're always happy, and so that'll do me for now. Yeah, fair enough. God, I mean, I've worked for some builders in the past, and they want to squeeze everything they can out of you for next to nothing, and then still moan about it at the end of the day. Oh dear. I think that's another reason, apart from like really close friends of mine that are builders, I just stopped working for builders. They're always pleading poverty. Oh, when I worked for them anyway. James, someone contacted me from East London. It's a bit far for me. So you work in those areas. Depends, mate. I think it depends on the job. How big it might be, whether it's worth doing like tripping over to East London. Because the only problem internally, London-wise, if any jobs that I get that are quite far away that are going out of town, there's not an issue getting to them traffic-wise. If you leave early, getting across London from South London to East London could be an absolute nightmare. But needs must, mate. So if things remain quiet, then yeah, and depending on what kind of size job it was that came in, I'd definitely take a look at it and consider it. Thanks, mate. Pete. Apparently, railways have already started laying off and are planning to quickly finish projects before the crash. Oh, is there a crash actually coming then, mate? I thought it had started already. Oh dear, there's not going to be a crash. Not a proper one. All I can say, when we had some proper recessions in the past, and I was working for building companies then, you realise it fairly quick because they literally shut the gates on half-finished jobs and did everything stopping. That's proper crash. Oh dear. The first proper one. That's the first time I ever did cab driving, which was horrible. Don't want to go there again. But they didn't do deliveries of groceries then, so I think I'd rather do that than be a cab driver. The Bellways were quite a big company, Pete, as well, weren't they? If you are new and you have just joined us, this is Ask the Plasterer. This is Ye Old Hook and Trowel Community Boozer, where we meet up for a chat, whether you're a plasterer, whether you're a newbie, DIYer, males, females, anything plastering related, questions wise that you might want to ask, you can ask it here. We're here every other Monday from 7 o'clock till about 8:30, and this will normally go out as a podcast a couple of days after the event, and it will be up as a video on YouTube once the live stream finishes as well. Grongler, work in the Midlands definitely slowed down too. Okay, I mean it does. It does slow down this time of year, but I think the strange thing was because the obviously during the COVID thing there was a lot of issues going on then, and then when things started to like pick up again, it went crazy all of last year basically, and then it just started slowing down. I think as it came into sort of to December in London anyway. Pete Carter, if I was a bay leaf in the big crash in '89, well that mate, that's the one I'm thinking of. Basically went round breaking into empty houses and boarding them up. Horrible work but lots of money. Mate. Yeah, no, I think it was the 89 one where they literally, the site I was working on, they just shut it down. Unfinished, and you thought, wow. But I can't see that ain't going to be happening this time around. I think we need to change the government, guys and girls, just for a change, just so the pendulum swings the other way a bit. Better talk to me otherwise. I'm gonna start singing. You won't like it. Oh, well done, Pete. Off with their heads. Oh dear. Let them eat cake. Now I need to keep a close check on my electricity meter, because apart from running the old community boozer, the lights in the community boozer probably use quite a little bit of electric. I need to check the old meter readings after Plasterer and see how fast the meter spins during the old live stream. Tony replying to Pete, don't get started on politics in the boozer. No, that's true, that's true. Religion and politics in the pub, not a good idea. Says Eric, the Christian Bible bashing, God bothering plasterer. You're welcome. Pete, did anyone see Rich talking to the homeless guy and asking if he wanted a job in finance? I don't think so, mate. On what? On his channel, was that? Kenny, Eric, after 6 years working for somebody, I'm thinking of going self-employed. What advice would you give on finding work at the start? I started initially, mate, when I was working for other people. I think it started out with like the private jobs I did on weekends, you know, Saturdays and Sunday stuff, which was the only time I think I used to do weekends back in the day. And I suppose just building up your confidence and slowly building up that kind of some kind of connections with customers. And sorry, Pete just put me off there, putting Shisunak up on my screen. Definitely take videos of your work with your phone, unless you've got some other kind of fancy camera or something. With your phone, take videos of your work and put them on a YouTube channel. It's free to have if you haven't got one already, it's free to have a YouTube channel, Kenny. So start up a YouTube channel, get some videos, put your videos on there, and even if you just use that so you can send them to customers. You can say to a potential customer, here's me doing a plastering a ceiling, here's me plastering a wall, and it gets them to know you. They can see your work, they know from watching those that you are an actual plasterer, and that's always good. Whoops, excuse me. All the socials, Facebook, have a Facebook page, plastering page, do the Instagram, do the TikTok, just get your name out there as a plasterer, and somewhere along the line you'd make the transition. Because when I made the transition, I was working for a builder, and I was working quite a lot of domestics when I could fit them in, and on weekends and evenings, and it got to a point where the builder was starting to want to pay me less money than he was paying me already, and I could earn so much more money without the hassle, and get paid sooner by doing my domestic jobs. So in the end I said to him, look, I'm off to do domestics, because one, there's no way I'm taking a pay cut, and two, I'm already getting paid a lot more money for my domestic work. So then I bit the bullet and just left that particular builder I was working for at the time, and it was just doing my own domestic stuff and working on that. I mean, I knew a couple of other small builders that I did some work for on and off at the time as well, and slowly just kind of build it up. At one point, it's a case of starting it off at the beginning and then having to work it up, and then biting the bullet and going, right, I'm just going all domestic. Goodbye, Mr. Matey. Probably best to do it when I don't know, you always feel like kind of spring, summer's a good idea, a good time to go on your own rather than right in the middle of winter. But in some instances that shouldn't make any difference. If you get a lot of work coming in the winter domestically, then I'm thinking, you know what, I'd rather do these domestics and knock this 5 day a week working for someone else on the head, and then you just have to go for it. I hope that helps, mate. Right, hang on, make sure I haven't missed any. I probably have. There we go. James, any boozers in mind for Edinburgh? Just so I know where to find all you spreads on the 10th, love. Well, we've all got our mobile phones, mate, haven't we, hopefully? So, thank God for the mobile phone, because back in the day you would literally have to organise by talking to someone on the telephone attached to the wall where you were going to meet them, at what time, what venue, and then you would just turn up there and hope everybody else was turning up there as well. Or your friend was turning up there. And if it was quite a busy place, even if you were both there, trying to find each other was a nightmare, but it was just something you had to do because the mobile phone didn't exist. But of course now, they just, all right lads, I'm in the Dog and Fish at down the old down the main stretch in Edinburgh, looking up at the castle, and yeah, I'm in the pub. I'll get one in, and yeah, so people know where to find you. So hopefully we'll all we've got if you put your name down, I think we've already got I get confused. I think it's on our Facebook group via Trail Talk on the Messenger, where there is a group of all the guys that are going or talking about going, where we can talk to each other on there. Or yeah, I need to check up with Stuart what that's on and make sure that it's somewhere where everyone can access it easily. Even me, occasionally I'm thinking, how do I get back onto the group that we're on, that everyone who's going to Edinburgh is on it, and so everyone can see. We were going to do oh hell, come on, we were going to do a WhatsApp group, but it worked out it was easier to do a messenger type group via the Facebook Trail Talk page. So hopefully we'll keep in contact on there regards where we're going or where we're meeting up. Oh, hang on. Pete, it's old-fashioned, but it still works to drop cards into sites. Oh, I haven't done that for years. I used to print, yeah, do leaflet drops basically, apart from on site, like for domestics, in people's houses. Of like, oh yeah, I'll do a whole room for 250 quid. I was going back a few years, but it was still a bargain even then. But I think the percentage rate is about 1%. I'm getting a call back from a leaflet drop. I mean, back in the day when there was a lot of site work and before everything went to dry lining, there was always a wet trade plastering on any site that was going up, there was guaranteed work coming up for a spread. You would just go to the site and say, when are the spreads starting? And if they'd already started, you could literally start the next day. Oh, they were the days. Mark, the booking office Wetherspoons on Waverley Bridge would be handy to meet. Well, sort it out nearer the time, James. Yeah. We'll sort it out nearer the time. I will forget by the time May comes around. Oh dear. I'm very much looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it. Oh god, I've run over, guys. The missus will have a moan. No, she won't. She's as good as gold. But right, everybody. Oh, that's that, Mark. I'll put it on the front of featured on Trail Talk yesterday. All right, Mark. Well done, mate. Lovely, lovely. So get on Trail Talk, people, regarding the Edinburgh trip, and yeah, I'll chat to you on there. Right, evening, everybody. Thanks for coming along. Oh, hang on. Anybody use my builder site for work? Quite a few of the guys use it, Mike. I'll have to reply to you on the old forum, mate. For this evening, I'm going to thank everybody for coming along and for sticking it out, because I'm sure most of you, this is the regulars just hanging on in there for an hour and a half. So thank you very much. It would be nothing without you. I'll just be talking to myself. So thanks for coming along, guys. It's been a lovely evening, and I'll either see you on Trail Talk on the old Facebook forum, not Facebook forum. I can't even remember the name of my own forum anymore. Ask the Plasterer forum on here in fortnight's time. Yeah. Good night and God bless from the Old Hawken Trail Community Boozer, and I'll speak to you soon. Whee. Dear Mike, Sig, Rongler, Jamie, Tara, Mark, Pete, everyone else who knows me, Kenny, Tony, James, Danny. Lovely to see you all, my dears.